Hi kindergarten, this is Dr. Mutchler with your SEL lesson. So last week we were working on problem solving and we were thinking about what to do to have fun with our friends to make it fair. Do you remember how we learned how to trade, share, and take turns? That's a great way to fix a problem when you and your friend are maybe arguing over something. And maybe this past week you had to practice trading, sharing, or taking turns with your brother or sister or other family members. I hope it worked out for you. Well, today we're going to continue focusing on having fun with our friends, which you would think, friends, that is fun, but sometimes we have problems. Like maybe you want to do something, but your friend wants to play something different. You'll have to use your problem-solving skills to think about how you're going to work through that situation so you can still have fun. Well, today we're going to think about how to have fun with our friends, especially how important it is to listen to them, to hear what they would like, to use your empathy. Remember that big word? It means you understand how someone else is feeling, and to also use your own voice in a respectful way to share with them what you're thinking or feeling or wanting to do. That's calling being assertive. Well, I think the best way to share with you what can happen when you don't listen to your friends is to read a book called Me First. It's about a little pig. He doesn't think of others very much at all. He's only focused on himself. And in the story, he learns a big lesson about how important it is to think of others and to listen. And that makes it fair and fun when you do. And at the end of the story, I think you'll see how Pinkerton will be a much better friend. Let's listen. Me First, written by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Mussinger. Pinkerton was pink, plump, and pushy. He would do anything to be first, even if it meant bouncing off bellies, stepping on snouts, or tying tails. Me first, he cried when he had been last in line and finished first down the slide. Me first, he cried at story time, settling on his round bottom with his big head right smack in front of the book. And every day in the school cafeteria, me first rang out, and there was Pinkerton. One Saturday, Pinkerton's Pig Scout troop went on a day trip to the beach. Pinkerton was first in the bus and sat in the front row. He was first off the bus, first in the water, first out of the water, and first into the picnic basket. After lunch, the Pig Scouts decided to go for a hike. Off they went, with Pinkerton leading the line, of course. As the Pig Scouts marched across the sand, they heard a faint voice far in the distance. The voice called out, "Who would care for a sandwich?" Pinkerton pricked up his pointy ears. Care for a sandwich? Oh yes, me first, he thought, and he began to trot ahead of the others. Soon he heard the voice again, closer and louder this time. Who would care for a sandwich? Me first, cried Pinkerton, kicking up sand and leaving the other Pig Scouts far behind. His imagination almost burst. Peanut butter, jelly, 2 tomatoes, 7 pickles, a slab of cheese, a blob of mayo, a big smear of mustard, all for me, first. Who would care for a sandwich? Now at a full gallop, Pinkerton shrieked, "Me first!" Over a sandy hill he flew and kerplop, he landed face to face with a small creature with a bump on her nose and fur on her toes. "Am I glad to see you?" she cackled. "I sure could hear you coming. Me first, me first, me first. I guess you really would care for a sandwich." "Oh, yes, indeed," replied Pinkerton. He jumped up and down so fast his teeth jiggled. "Good," cackled the small creature. Pinkerton waited. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. "Well?" he asked. "Well, what?" replied the small creature. "The sandwich," begged Pinkerton. "Where's the sandwich?" The small creature curtsied. "You're looking at her." She went on. "I am a sandwich, and I live in the sand, and you said you would care for a sandwich. So here I am. Care for me." All Pinkerton could say was, "But I..." Taking no notice, the sandwich continued. "You said, 'Me first.' You wanted to be the first to care for me. Well, congratulations! Now just come along to my sandcastle." Grabbing Pinkerton firmly by the sleeve, she led him around a few bends. Before he could say, "But I..." again, the gate to her castle closed. "All right, my pink, plump, and pushy one. Now you care for me. You may have the honor of being the first to powder my nose and comb my toes." Seeing no way out, Pinkerton powdered her nose and combed her toes. "Next," she crowed, "you may be the first to put my supper in a bucket and feed me with a shovel." Pinkerton looked around. He had no choice. He put her supper in a bucket and fed her with a shovel. Rubbing her tummy, the sandwich spoke on. "Finally, after you've had the privilege of being the first to wash my dishes and sweep my castle and do my laundry and curl my hair and tuck me in, you may be the first to tell me a bedtime story." Pinkerton washed the dishes, swept the castle, did the laundry, curled the sandwich's hair, and tucked her in. The sandwich stretched and yawned loudly. "Now the story. I need my story." Pinkerton was so tired he could barely speak. "I don't know any stories," he whimpered. "Then how about making up something?" "Oh, how about something concerning a pushy pig who always wanted to be first?" Pinkerton sighed and began. "Once upon a time, there lived a pig who always wanted to be first until one day he met a wise sandwich." "Wise and beautiful," cut in the sandwich. "A wise and beautiful sandwich who showed him that first was not always best." "Aha!" cackled the sandwich. She gave Pinkerton a slow, serious, and meaningful wink. "Have you learned something?" "Oh, yes, yes, yes," said Pinkerton. "I promise I have. In that case, thanks for the care. Goodbye and good luck." She opened the gate, and Pinkerton sped off so fast he didn't even notice the delicious sandwich she held out to him. He was just in time to catch the bus. On he scooted, pink, plump, and glad to be last. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the story Me First, and I hope you saw what kind of lesson Pinkerton learned from the sandwich. Pinkerton always wanted to be first. He was pushy. He didn't think about others. He was really selfish. Those things aren't very fun, and maybe you've played with somebody who never asked you what you wanted to do or what you thought about something? Not so fun. I think Pinkerton was that kind of friend, but the sandwich taught him a big lesson, how important it is to think of others, that to have fun means to share, not be selfish, to think of others, knowing that they might want to do something different. And as he ran back to the bus and was so thankful to be last, I think really what we could predict that could happen next is that he was a friend that wasn't selfish, who thought of others, wanted to listen to their ideas and share and not be selfish. Don't you think Pinkerton's going to be a better friend? I think he will be too. Boys and girls, before I see you next week, let's think about that, how we can have fun with our friends and our family by listening to what they're thinking, sharing, trading, and taking turns. And always, boys and girls, even though we're not together, I think about you every day. If you have any questions or if there's anything you want to talk to me about, you can give me an email. Have mom or dad or another adult in your house email me at lmuchler@byron226.org and I will respond. Until next time, have a great week. Bye.